In this video, I'm going to talk about Forex pivot trading. Now, you may be familiar with pivots, pivot reversals, or swing bars as they would be called. And in the Forex market, we can catch massive moves. If you notice this large move, wouldn't it have been nice to know days in advance that we're going to have a strong breakout? What about this bar? Oh my gosh, that's several hundreds of pips. Wouldn't it be nice to know that, around 4 or 5 days ahead of time that we could have a potential breakout that could be worth 10, 20, 30, 100, 200 pips? Well, it's possible with pivot reversals. And what we've put together is very, very exciting. We've put together a free indicator. You can see just the button above says download now. You can get it absolutely free. Just click the download button and go through and install it. But before you do, let me go ahead and show you exactly what you're going to be installing and how you could be using it to gain massive amounts of pips. Okay, so what you're going to see in your custom indicators is a thing like this. When you go to load the indicator, you have inputs. Of course, you can change the qualifying bar, and I'll explain that in a minute. You can also change the width of the lines. You can change the colors, of course. It's very easy to do that. You can also change the width of the dots, and I'll show you that right now. So let's go ahead and go go ahead and load this onto the chart. Now, what this does is it finds pivot reversals. Pivot reversals have pivot highs have a higher high than the bar before it and after it. Pivot lows have a lower low than the bar before it and after it. And of course, I go through in detail in the training videos. If you click on the training videos up at the top of this page, you can go through those and I get into more detail. But basically, what pivots allow you to do is grab massive amounts of pips out of the market and know days ahead of time that these potential opportunities are going to be there. So I wanted to just run through a couple. You can see that we have a green line, and this would be for a buy. And of course, we have our red lines that would be for a sell. So it's very easy to identify. You can actually hover your mouse over that particular line. It's going to give you the price. It's going to have FXI-pivot high, and then it's going to give you the price. We're on the pound Japanese yen on the day time frame, so we have 122.60 on that one. You can come over here, and we have another one at 120.82. And so forth. So you can see to the downside, we have one here that is pretty much. Here's one at 119.33. So you can very easily identify where you could potentially get in the market. Now on this one went up and grabbed about 80. About somewhere around 86, 85 pips there on that move if you closed it out at the end of the session. Here's one for about 311. So that's a huge move. I don't know if you've ever caught a 311 pip move in one day, but with our pivot reversals, we're able to do that. So let's go and just take a look at a few months worth of time. Here's one. Looks like it closed down about 5-10 pips on this particular one. Here's one, caught it to the downside. This is a short. You can see how pivots track the market. There's one for about 62 pips within one session. And you can see, had you held that, it continued to drop. So pivot reversals, not always, but a lot of times, once you get a positive on the first day, you close the day up, it's going to continue to run. Had you held on to that one, you would have locked in about 64 pips at the close. You could have gone to break even. It wouldn't have been broken. And then had you rode it on down several more sessions, the low was at 300 pips. Let's just say that you wanted to grab an extra 100 pips. Well, that would have been done very, very easily right about this point. So you can see that pivots really determine where the market's going to go. They let you in kind of ahead of time on the secret of the direction of the market. Here's one. Closed down about 4 pips. It didn't, you're not going to win every trade. That's impossible. But pivots do stack the odds in your favor. Now here's one for about 19 pips. Oh, here's a short that didn't work out. We got the trend right, but it pulled back about 30 31 pips there before closing. You can see the trend was right, but yet that one-day pivot did pull back against us. So let's continue on. Here's one. Here's a strong one. You can see the market is moving down. We catch a breakout, and it continues on down from there. Let's see what this one is. Here we go. It's roughly about 190 pips. So if you were to go back and add all those up, we got 86 on that first one, an amazing 311 on the one, negative 10, 62, negative 4, 19, negative 31, and we're going to put the last one up here at 190. If you add all those up, we're hitting around 623 pips. Now, this was across a couple of months on the day time frame, but you got to realize that this is only one pair. How many pairs can you trade? Well, on my platform, my broker, I feel comfortable trading at least 10 pairs that have really good spreads, and that I can know that I can go into the market and grab pips using my pivot reversal trading, basically Forex pivot reversal trading. And you can see if you can grab 10 pips, or 10 pairs rather, and then you can make, let's say you don't make that. Let's say you make half of it. So about 300 pips, let's say. Well, that's 3,000 pips, and we only went about 4 months worth of time. So you can really see how it really can add up over time. Trading the Forex with pivot reversals can be very, very powerful. And the reason we put all this together is I've been trading pivots for, goodness, at least 6 years now. I've been profiting with pivots. I use tight stop losses. I look for runners. The largest one I've ever personally been a part of, or actually profited from, was 403 pips, if you can imagine that, in one session. It was in the euro, broke out. It went through the roof. It was amazing. So these trades, if you use tight stops and you let them run, you can make large amounts of money, large amount of pips. And I want to share that with you. Go ahead and click the download button above. The only thing I would ask is that you scroll down to the bottom of this page and write a comment or two telling me how much you like the pivot reversal indicator that we've given you for free. Just go up top, click the download button. It'll ask you to click yes a couple of times. It'll go through all your drives, your C drive, your D drive, E drive. Doesn't matter how many drives you have. It automatically scans them, looks for all of your MetaTrader 4s, and will put them in your custom indicator. It'll be FXI equals pivot. And that's what you can use. That's what you'll see in your custom indicator. So go ahead and click the download button. It's absolutely free for you, and you can use it as much as you want. But please let me know what you think about it. Scroll down to the bottom and leave me a comment. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.